I was broke, desperate, and secretly sabotaging every manifestation that came my way. No matter how many Joe Dispenza meditations I did, I kept hitting the same income ceiling over and over again. And I remember one time sitting in my room, just staring at my bank account, thinking, why isn't this working for me? Then I discovered what was actually really happening. My body had become addicted to resistance. And when I finally understood what Dr. Joe calls the gap between who you are and who you are becoming, that is when everything changed. I identified my specific pattern of self-sabotage and I developed an awareness practice to actually track it in my body. And so I added to what Dr. Joe's meditations do. Now within weeks, I manifested $28,000 in a way that I would have never expected. And this isn't about forcing your manifestations, but it's about allowing them. And I'm going to show you exactly how I made that shift today. But before we dive in, if you are serious about creating your desired reality, then please book an alignment session with me and we can dive deeper into the neurological identity shift that makes collapsing your desired reality inevitable. Link is in the description, and I also have some additional goodies for you as well, so check it out. Now, today's video is different. I'm going to get vulnerable and share the exact process that helped me break through my resistance and manifest $28,000 when I needed it the most. And it showed up in a way that was not what I expected. So let's start from the beginning. This was about 5 years ago, and I was doing all the right things when it comes to manifestation. Like I said, I was broke and desperate. I hit an income ceiling where I would just basically wouldn't be able to get through that, okay? I had my meditation practice, check. Visualization, check. Affirmations, check. Vision board, yep. Gratitude journal, you name it. I was basically the walking, talking manifestation machine. Or so I thought. But here's the thing. I kept hitting the same income ceiling month after month. I get close to the breakthrough, and then boom, something would happen. A client would cancel. I would self-sabotage in a way. An opportunity would fall through. I would spill water on my laptop. True story. It was like the universe was playing a cosmic joke on me. Hey Kevin, you almost got it. Just kidding. And I remember one night, I was sitting on my bedroom floor, looking at my bank account again, and this feeling of overwhelm, the sense of frustration, because I had just lost another $5,000 client, right? I was losing clients. For the third month in a row, always right when I'm about to break that income ceiling. And that's when it hit me. The pattern was too consistent to be a coincidence. I knew that something in me was creating this reality, but what was it? That's when I went back to Dr. Joe's teachings about the gap between who you are and who you are becoming, okay? Now, this is what I'm talking about, the gap. This is your current reality. There's space between your desired reality as well, okay? If you're not familiar with this concept, here is a simplified version. The space is a gap between your current identity or current reality and your desired reality, okay? The identity that you are trying to embody is the gap here is filled with resistance, okay? The body is addicted to emotions and resistance to the new identity. And Dr. Joe explains that your body, which has been conditioned to be your current identity, is for years will actually fight to hell to maintain homeostasis. It's literally addicted to being you, the current you, not the future desired reality you, okay? Your body is basically saying, new identity, we don't do that here, okay? And it's gonna fight instead of flow. But here's what most people miss about this teaching. The resistance isn't just mental, but it's also physical, okay? Your body creates physical sensations, specific sensations to pull you back into your old identity. And this is where it gets interesting because most of us are taught to fight this resistance instead of flow with it. We need to push through it to force our manifestations. But what if that was exactly the thing that's keeping us stuck, right? Joe says you got to cross the river of change, which I completely misunderstood at first. He talks about when you are creating change, you're stepping into this river that's flowing forward to your new life. Okay? But most of us are used to controlling everything. Okay, so we try to swim upstream, or we try to tell the river, no, this is what we need to do. Like, go this way. And I know better than you. That's what we say to the river, right? That's exactly what I was doing. Yeah? Okay? I was trying to control the how my manifestations would come to me. And I had this idea that clients would come through a specific channel, money had to arrive in a particular way, and opportunities had to look exactly as I imagined it. And every time something showed up that didn't match that mental picture in my mind, no thank you, I would reject it. Sometimes consciously, but mostly unconsciously. Okay? Now this breakthrough came when I realized the river knows the way better than I do. My job isn't to direct the river, it's to stop fighting the current. So I modified Joe's meditation technique to focus specifically on resistance. Instead of just visualizing my desired outcome, I started paying attention to the physical sensations that would arise when I imagined receiving money or opportunities. Now here's what I noticed. Resistance lives in the body. Okay? Now, every time I visualize money coming in, I get this tightening when I would think about money. There's like a tightening in my chest. And it's like a constriction, and a voice in my head would whisper, yeah, but what if it doesn't last? That's what it did. That was my resistance pattern. My body was literally tensing up against receiving. Okay? Now, I developed this simple 15-minute meditation where I would visualize receiving money or opportunities. Now I would notice where the resistance showed up in my body, and mine was usually around the chest, tension in the shoulders, thinking about abundance as well, and I would clench my jaw when I would think about money. Instead of fighting that area, I would breathe into that area, and I would say, I see you. You're trying to protect me. Thank you, but I'm safe to receive. Then I would continue to breathe in that area until it softened and opened up, okay? And I know that sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but that's the thing about transformation. Sometimes the simplest shifts create the biggest changes. But I didn't stop there. I needed to track this resistance pattern throughout my day, not just during meditation. So I started becoming aware throughout the day. I set an alarm on my phone every hour. Like, I think it was five times a day, okay? I set an alarm 5 times a day. When it would ring, I'd stop whatever I was doing, and I would scan my body for any tension. I would think about abundance, I would think about money, and then I would scan my body for any tension. I'd ask myself, am I holding resistance right now? What am I resisting in this moment? And let me tell you, it was eye-opening because I discovered that I was in a subtle resistance almost all the time. My shoulders would tighten up. My breathing would be shallow. Every time like an opportunity would come, I would get, fast-paced breathing. My jaw would clench whenever I would receive praise about my business or even just compliments to myself. Okay? My breathing would be shallow every time I checked my bank account. And even creating content, there would be a bit of like tension and resistance. That was before, not now, okay? My body was literally programmed to resist abundance. Even my mind was trying to attract it, okay? After just 2 weeks, I could see the pattern clear as day. My resistance was strongest when someone offered me an opportunity that I didn't initiate. If money came from an unexpected source or someone praised my work, I was literally programmed to only trust what I controlled or what I could control. Now that was a massive revelation because my entire manifestation practice had been about controlling outcomes when real manifestation is about allowing them. Now this is where I brought in Neville Goddard's concept. Neville Goddard's concept of living in the end. Instead of visualizing having money, I started embodying the feeling of being someone who is naturally abundant, someone who allows money to flow to them from expected and unexpected sources. And the key difference was this. Rather than focusing on the specific amount of money, I focused on being the kind of person who is relaxed about money. Okay? Who is relaxed about money coming to them, talking about money, just being around money. I would ask myself, how would I breathe? How would I breathe if I knew abundance was my natural state? How would my shoulders feel? How would I stand? How would I walk? What would my posture be like? Then I would literally physically adjust my body to match that state. Because this wasn't fake it till you make it. This was embodying the neurological state of my future self. Okay? The self that had already moved through the resistance. So we closed the entire gap here to collapse it. And about 3 weeks into this practice, something changed. I was in the middle of my morning meditation when I felt this release, okay? Like something just let go of my chest. It was in my chest and it was just released. And with it came this profound sense of peace, not excitement, not anticipation. It was just peace. And I realized in that moment that I had been treating manifestation like a battle to be won, when it's actually a surrender to be experienced. The shift from forcing to allowing doesn't feel like what you think it will. It's not like a hell yeah moment. It's more of a, oh, there you are. It's like a soft, there you are moment. Now the next day, something strange happened. I got a call from an old client. Okay, let's talk about the result. I got a call from an old client I hadn't spoken to in over a year. And they said that they had been following my content, they loved my evolution, and they wanted to bring me in for a project. The fee, $8,000. But here's the wild part. I didn't feel that old familiar constriction. Instead, I felt open. I was ready to receive. Within the next 2 weeks, money just started coming in from everywhere. Remember, I had an $8,000 project from the client that I had. I had a refund from taxes that I didn't even expect, and it was $3,200. Now, I had an affiliate commission from a recommendation I'd made months ago, $4,700 for that affiliate commission. And then a client who wanted to prepay for 6 months of work, $12,000. Okay, that's a total of $27,900. But let's just call it $28,000 in 30 days. The most powerful part wasn't the money itself. It was that each opportunity came in a way that I would have never planned or have controlled. I never visualized any of this. Okay? If I had been in my old pattern of resistance, I would have found reasons to reject at least half of these opportunities. This project isn't part of my zone of genius. No, thank you. I don't want to deal with tax paperwork right now, right? I never expected that affiliate link to convert. For real, that's what I thought. 6 months is a long commitment. Should I really be doing that? But because I had shifted from forcing to allowing, I was open to receiving abundance in whatever form it took. Now, I would love to tell you that I'd maintained this perfect state of non-resistance ever since, but that would be a lie. Resistance is sneaky, okay? Resistance is sneaky. It finds new ways to show up. When challenges come up, and they do, I notice resistance much more faster, all right? Sometimes I can feel it creeping in within seconds, whereas before it might have taken days or weeks to actually recognize that. It's like resistance has nowhere to hide anymore because I've got eyes everywhere. I'm so aware now. Now, the warning signs that tell me I'm slipping back into my old patterns are these tension in my shoulders, the tightening around my chest, okay? The shallow breathing, the thought that this has to happen this specific way, and checking for results obsessively, feeling desperate about my outcomes. And when I notice these signs, I don't beat myself up anymore. I just go back to the practice, right? And here it is. Scan where the resistance is, track the sensations, Connect the sensations to your thought and map out these patterns and release it. Breathe into that resistance. Thank it for trying to protect me, right? And then affirm that it's safe to receive now and just let go of the how, right? But what's the biggest takeaway from all of this? Manifestation isn't about forcing, okay? But it's about allowing reality to bend to your will. It's about allowing yourself to receive what's already trying to come to you. Because the gap between who you are and who you are becoming isn't something to fight. It's something to navigate with awareness and compassion. Your resistance isn't your enemy. It's just a pattern trying to keep you safe in familiar territory. So, thank the resistance and then let it know that you are ready to receive and surrender the how. That is the most important part, trying to control the how your manifestation is going to come to you. The universe is infinitely more creative than your conscious mind. So let it surprise you. Now, if you want to go deeper with this work, I'm opening up 5 spots in my Rapid Identity Shift program this month. This is where I work with people one-on-one to identify their specific resistance patterns and create a personalized neurological shift for releasing them. All you have to do is hit the link in the description and book an alignment call with me. And let's see if it's going to be a good fit of working together. But remember, stop forcing your manifestations and start allowing them. Because your resistance doesn't define you. Your willingness to move through it is what it does.